Hello again! In this lesson, we'll learn how to apply flat color and some basic flat shadowing to our rock band illustration. Once we have the ink, we'll create a layer below it and we'll select a color in order to apply a mask to all the image. You can do it either coloring bit by bit with a brush harder enough than the one we were using, or you can select the white part outside the line using the Magic Wand tool, then Selection, Invert, and then fill the color layer using the Paint Bucket tool. This way you'll be faster. Now, using the Eraser tool, erase those parts that you filled but shouldn't have any color. In order to get into business, the first brush we're using to color in general is Photoshop's basic brush number 23. You can use the one you like, but this one is good because borders are quite sharp and it will let you apply homogeneous color. Good, now we'll create layers on top of the base layer, which we'll use as a clipping mask so the color doesn't go over the edge. Holding Alt and clicking in the middle of both layers will create a clipping mask, and this way our colors won't expand past the outer stroke. We'll create different layers for each color zones we'll be painting. We're doing it like this so you can change the colors afterwards if you need to using Ctrl U. Now we'll explain that tool. Using Ctrl U, we open the Hue Saturation window in which we can modify the saturation, the lightness, and all these color parameters, including the hue. So you can change the color you selected at the beginning in case it doesn't work too well towards a color you see fitter. If you don't have a clear idea of the color palette you want to use in your drawing, or you're a bit lost in color composition, don't worry. You can look in the internet illustrations you like, and from there, inspire yourself to create your own. Using the eyedropper, you could even select the colors in a particular illustration and paint over yours. Although, I would recommend you to try and do it at a guess, and this way you'll be able to train your brain when selecting the colors. We'll apply the shadow, creating another layer and making it a part of the clipping mask. And we'll set its blending mode to multiply. Then we'll select the purple tone and the brush we used to ink. This brush makes it look a bit more broken, which would help us making the shadow have more transparency. Apply the shadows depending on the volumes of the characters and the light source you chose. In this case, my light source is at the top right corner, and because of this, the shadows are projected towards the left. Once you have the shadow applied, lower the opacity of this layer until the colors blend together and you like the results. The color of the shadow could obviously be any other instead of purple, but purple is a color that blends in so good with skin tones and with any tone in general, and it generates some very nice effects usually. It's quite commonly used in illustration. Next and last we'll do in order to fill the color of our illustration is to color the line. We'll select the layer in which we have the ink and we'll lock the transparent pixels. Once we've locked them, we'll be able to paint on this layer and we'll only paint the lines on it. We'll select colors that are a bit darker than the original tones and a bit more saturated. This way, we'll get a nicer effect. There are zones we can leave black because if we, for example, have a dark or shadowed part, black helps to boost that part of the illustration. For this process, I recommend you to be a bit more patient. Usually painting the line is a bit complicated if we have a lot of lines, like in this case, so the brush has to be small and you'll have to magnify each zone so the line is well painted. You can also leave the line black if that's the style you like. You can modify all these and check it out by trying several styles. As I usually tell you, referencing other artists that also paint cartoon style, if that's the style you want to apply, can help you a lot when generating your own style. Terrific! Once we're done with coloring our drawing, in the next lesson, we'll compose it with the logo. It will be a blast! See you in the next video.